Now, I did not write a poem today for today's topic. Of course, I have an entire notebook full of poems and topics because I'm going to get back more into it. I'm definitely going to soon get a better webcam, and there's going to be lots of things coming up, better backdrops and whatever else. But today I'm going to kind of keep it real with you all, and I think I'm going to kind of get into the subject of the truth be told from what it's really like to be transgender. First and foremost, and I've said this many, many times, you're really not going to evolve from one state of being to the other very quickly. I know because I was really, really, really impatient. I was looking for results every day in the mirror. This is a slow evolution, okay? Now mama's got some milkshake, okay? And these are mine. No silicone, no implants. They took forever to grow, a decade and a half, but patience pays off. By the time that you stop looking in the mirror for results is when you're going to see them, but they're not going to come quickly. I know patience is kind of a virtue and it's something hard to have, and I know that everybody wants to rush this process, but if you rush this process and you go from point A to point Z overnight, can you mentally handle that? Because a lot of times in transition, what you young folks fail to realize is that you change mentally first and then you change physically. The reason I think that it takes so long to get the results that I have is because women's bodies constantly change anyway. I'll know a woman that might be in her early 20s, flat chested as fuck, and then if you see her in her 30s, it's a constant evolution. Yes, yes, yes. Then the final destination. See, fitting into society is also another very complex thing because you're raised one way or you grow up one way or you're born one way. Then you go through kind of like what I went through was a stealth period of time where um, people didn't know what I was, what was going on, because I went through the stealth years where I would just kind of dress really androgynously, and each day I might like in the early part of my transition, I would wear really baggy clothes and black. And then I might incorporate a bracelet. And then I might incorporate a wig. And then I might, in my androgynous years, I started to live full time when I could no longer pass as androgynous. When even when I was out there as androgynous, people were saying ma'am or she. So that's when I knew that I could fully come out feminine. Then you transition and you get to kind of like the final destination or whatever that you're trying to get to. And then you have to fit into society in that way. And women do not like each other. Men feel this natural dominance over women, so they're going to always try to think they're in charge and the boss. And women are competitive. And you go from one state of being and you are used to being treated that way, and then you become the other state of being, and then you have to reprogram yourself in your mind to go through experiences as the other gender. Another thing that's really hard about being transgender is people have these unrealistic expectations of what a trans woman's supposed to look like, and it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And in the beginning part of my transition, it made me want to kill myself. Now I know that everybody thinks that the perfect trans woman is supposed to have the bigger titties and the hips and the ass and everything else. Let me tell y'all something. You're beautiful no matter what stage of your transition that you're in. Don't let society tell you a fucking thing. Because I can tell you right now, yeah, I got these. I got the hips. I got the ass. I got the thighs. I got the cheeks. Guess how much easier it's made my life? Not at all. You do all this crossing over and you realize you haven't crossed over at all because you don't change as a person. The only thing that changes is your interactions and the way people treat you and the way that you physically look. This process will not make you happy. If you're a miserable person and you become a woman, you're going to be a miserable woman. And I'm just going to tell you that. Don't look to this process to make you feel happy. It'll make you feel okay and normal, but not happy. In society, Stop placing these unrealistic beauty expectations on trans women because you're making them want to kill themselves. Dating is definitely weird and kind of messy. That's just a whole other. Gay men are not going to date me. And I have to evaluate whether somebody's even worth my time to get into my business with. Because if you just come up and hit on me, you're not important to me for me to open up about my life with. But it gets weird and kind of messy. And then, you know, guys kind of go through this thing where they question themselves. It's just messy. And then another thing that really gets on my nerves is people think that you're like, you have this hyperactive sex drive. I can't for the life of me understand that. I've been on hormones 15 years. Like, I don't give a damn about sex. That's 15 years of estrogen, and I'm the last person on earth that cares about sex. And I don't understand where people think that you have this hyperactive sex drive. I gave it all up to be who I am, but it just, it's really fucking annoying. And people out there, stop thinking all trans women want to have sex. Not all of us get it. There ain't nothing that you can do for me. As I look at it, I'm kind of asexual. People can't do shit for me. I'm not really attracted to like, I like men, but I don't care. I don't give a damn about sex. And I'm just keeping it 100. Then the stupid questions that you get asked and the stupid things that you get told. Like, actually, people don't even ask me anymore what fucking bathroom I use or whatever. They did in the early part of my transition. Now they people don't even come at me with stupid questions really anymore. That's kind of like a part of my past. I do remember in my earlier part of my transition, they would ask me stupid fucking questions all the time because society feels they're entitled to an explanation for your existence. I don't understand that. They don't ask men why they're men. They don't ask women why they're women. But if you're a transsexual, you're gonna society's gonna feel an explanation as to why you are what they are because they can't mind their fucking business. If they were happy with themselves, they wouldn't give a damn why you're transsexual. They would just let it be what it is. But people feel this need for an explanation and they will ask you the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Now, like I said, people don't tend to ask me stupid shit. Now, they'll ask me very inappropriate shit. Who did my silicone and my titties? Who did my breast implant? Who stuff that is none of their motherfucking business. And like I said before, mama didn't have to. Mama grew these, but uh, they ask me more inappropriate questions, like stuff like that, or how far am I in my process? How much surgery have I had? What stuff that's not their business, but like the stupid questions. But yeah, I think that's just part of the process. Kind of finally, last but not least, here on Truth Be Told, what it's like being transgender. Not all your family and friends are going to accept you, and you have to be willing to deal with that. If you're married, your wife may not accept you, or your husband, or I don't know what you have going on. I'm just telling you the truth. You can't think that everybody in your family and all your friends are going to be wonderful with this because 90% of the time, like from my experience, almost everybody turned their back on me in the beginning. Now, that's not to say now, because as you transition, everybody transitions along with you. And there ain't a person in this world, in my family, and my friend, nobody calls me he. Nobody. Nobody calls me he. Whether they agree, they disagree, this is a very visual world. People live by what they see. I gave up everything to be who I am. So, yeah, I'm called a she by everybody, but these same people didn't always refer to me as she. They were referring to me as male pronouns most of my life, and I didn't have respect, and most people turned their back on me. And there were times where I didn't have any friends, didn't have any family, didn't have to cry myself to sleep, try to commit suicide many times, was a drug addict. There's lots of stuff to the story, but I'm just telling you that I don't want you to go into this thinking like, oh, this is some easy shit. This is the most difficult shit you have. There are times where I've gone to God and I've been like, next time in another lifetime, I'd rather come back with a handicap than be transgender. Just any advice that I have for you is take your time and do it right. Don't rush it. Life is not a race. Transition is not a race. I know you girls are dying to go from little boys to super feminine, bodied out, the next girl, beauty queen overnight. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. And you girls that are out here getting pumped with silicone, in my years of experience, I can't tell you how many girls I've had to go to their funerals from getting silicone injections. I can't even begin to tell you. And I've never met a girl that's had silicone in her body for over a decade that hasn't had complications. Every one of them's had complications, and they've ended up in the hospital several times. So good things come to those who wait. Take your time. Don't rush it. Be plenty patient with yourself. And just remember, it's a visual world. The world lives by what they see. If you're in the beginning parts of your transition, you don't have to go out everywhere that you're at and be kind of like a sissy, and I'm not saying that to insult you, because trust me, I've been there. And nobody told me the truth, and I used to get my ass kicked. People can tell you all day long they are accepting. A lot of people aren't accepting. And it's sad, because I don't think that you should get treated any differently than how I get treated by the same person, but it's a visual world. There's some things that you have to do to keep yourself safe. Nobody told this to me. And when I was in my early part of my transition, I was the tacky one. I was the one that had to wear bright pink, and I had to wear, you know, big foo-foo skirts, and I had to wear makeup that was tacky and just disgusting. And then one day somebody did tell me the truth, and it hurt. They told me I would never be no woman. I was just a little boy at a dress and a hot mess and everything else. So I stepped back, and then I just played it androgynous for a while, until I got to the point where no matter how androgynous I was, everybody was calling me a she. Anyway, I appreciate you stopping by my channel here on Bambie. I promise I will have more topics here with you soon. I did write more poetry, blah, blah, lots going on. And soon look for it. I'll be updating my camera. I'll be updating my equipment. I'll be updating my backdrops and all that stuff. But I just wanted to have a heart-to-heart with y'all. I certainly love you. I hope that you stop back again, and we'll have a conversation soon. Bye.